Welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast for May 12th, 2020. My name is...
Not May 19th.
No, it's not May 19th. My name is Matt.
I'm Ryan.
We'll get it someday. And I have Adam and
One
Ryan
day.
with me, as always. What have you guys been up to? What's new? Ryan, we were just...
Working from home.
Working from home is right. Ryan, you were just talking about doing some renovations, some pool renovations.
Some pool renovations. Got a pool guy who came, him and his young son. Not that young.
He was a toddler?
I said young son, but...
It's just a small toddler.
It was an infant baby that he made me hold the whole time, which was weird. But so yeah, we're trying to expand the pool area. The old owners of my house did 3 feet of concrete around the pool and fenced it in real tight, which makes sense when you have 5.5 acres. So we're just trying to expand that.
Yeah,
it's
so funny.
It looks so stupid now with all the trees down too. It's like you walk by and it's like, oh, you just really fenced it in real tight. And you get all
as much room as they needed, and it was just the pool is just this tight little tiny spot.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but hopefully that'll get done sometime. You know, I mean, it's really on their schedule more so than ours because we want it done. So
yeah,
doing some renovations, and I know I was talking to you about it, but time really just doesn't exist anymore. No. I don't know what day it is, like day of the week, the date. I ordered a pair of nice headphones like you guys have for the podcast yesterday. Well, jeez, I can't remember when I ordered it. Yesterday. And the ship date was May 19th. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll have it for tomorrow, the next podcast we do. And then I'm like, wait a minute. It's a whole week off. So I thought today was May 19th. I thought yesterday was May 18th, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. I feel like I'm just in like some type of vortex.
Yeah. The days are truly gone. Like the days of the week, it's gone.
I have no idea.
No.
The only way I track my days of the week now is Jen goes into work on Wednesdays and Fridays. So that's how I measure. Like I know when it's Friday and I know when it's halfway through the week now because if she's not here, then I don't have anybody to drive crazy at home all day. So that's how I know.
Poor Chase and Stevie.
And I've been going in a couple days a week now, so I know those days. I have to put it in my phone what days it is, or else the days just like they come and go so quickly. And so I've just been like, and then now Lindy gets a little time that's quiet at home where I'm not here, and so she savors those days. Yeah,
she gets something done.
Yeah, she gets something done. So that's all that's going on with me working from home. What do you guys?
We're trying to do a little project within the next week or so. So we figure my work isn't going to be going back into the office like for the foreseeable future, whenever that is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put some money into making our home office like an actual office. Like we're on folding tables right now.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
With our
that's
stuff,
nice.
So we're gonna get some desks and some bookshelves and get it set up.
I've heard from people that their companies are just starting to get the ball rolling on getting people back into the offices, and they're only doing certain people, and they've told other people that it's going to be like months before that everybody is back. That's like months and months. It's crazy.
On a all hands call today, they said something. I missed it because I wasn't listening, but there's 3,000 people on the call.
It's great.
It's funny though, at the because of my name, I'm at the top of the list. So you can see when if I sign off early.
Yeah.
So, but they said don't plan on coming back before the end of the summer. So it's gonna be a while.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Los Angeles just extended their stay-at-home order through the end of July.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's nuts.
Which I feel like people. I went Sunday was Mother's Day, so we stopped by my parents quick because they have just to see them outside on the deck, and then my sister and my brother-in-law, and he was saying that he's like we can't take much more of this. Like people are gonna go crazy if they stay at home. I'm like yeah, but it's a virus. It's not like
yeah.
I know people I know you're inconvenienced, but what do you want them to do? Germany today came out with their cases have tripled because they started reopening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's still a virus. Like, it didn't go away just because people are sick of it and like want to do stuff now. Like, it's all right. Well, we're gonna go away. Everyone go back to normal. You'll be fine. Like, I don't know what people expect.
Yeah, we all joke about it. Like, we all joke
Sucks,
about being home and it, going stir crazy and whatever. But I'd rather this than the opposite of like everything getting worse, and then down the road, like there have to be like more drastic measures taken, or more
Boring
people
is
die.
good.
So, yeah, right. It is.
Being bored at home is good. That's the best case scenario.
Yeah,
right
absolutely. Cool. Well, speaking of being bored kind of at home, what have we been watching? We'll get right into it. I finished. Ryan, did you watch Blinded by the Light? It's a movie.
Not yet.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Blinded by the Light is this movie. I don't even know who directs it or anything. I don't even really know any of them. I only know Tommen from Game of Thrones is in it. It's about this Pakistani kid that lives in the UK, and he discovers through this other Pakistani kid at his school, he discovers the music of Bruce Springsteen in the, I want to say in the 90s, like the mid 90s. He discovers the music of Bruce Springsteen and how like the lyrics change his life, and he's this huge Bruce fan and all this, and it's just a really good, it's a very, very good movie. I liked it. And of course it's like filled with Bruce Springsteen music, which I love. I know, Ryan, I know you love. Adam, I assume you're American, so you love The Boss. Everybody loves.
Yeah, I sang. I did Springsteen karaoke at Tom's welcome party.
Yeah, what song did you do?
Dancing in the Dark.
Great song. It was really cool. I had started it on a plane, and I was like, I can't watch a fucking movie on a plane. It sucks. So I just shut it off, and I'm like, I'll watch it eventually home. And then months and months go by, and I hadn't seen it. And I saw it pop up on Amazon Prime, so I was like, oh, I'll watch the rest of it. It was very good. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Bruce fan. The other thing I found that I want to spend a little more time on is this show called Prop Culture. It's on Disney Plus. It's a Disney Plus original show, and this is kind of like the power of Disney Plus and their original content, because they can tap into so many behind the scenes things that are so interesting because it's Disney. I mean, Disney has been around for so long, and they're so prolific in their filmmaking and their cutting edge like animation and all the people and all the Imagineers that work for them and all the cool stuff they do behind the scenes. They have a few shows on there that are just behind the scenes Disney stuff. This is one of those things. Prop Culture follows this guy around he's a prop collector, but he's also someone that hunts down old movie props that might have been like cast aside and brings them to the like rightful place. So brings them back to Disney, puts them in museums. I'm sure he has a large collection of his own at home, but for the most part. So they break it down by, each episode breaks it down by Disney movie. So there's one for, and I don't really know all of them, but I'll tell you the ones I watched. I watched the one for the original Mary Poppins. I watched the one for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I just finished watching, not 20 minutes ago, the Muppet Show, the Muppet movie, the original one from 1979. Ooh. And it's so cool. So they'll go through an episode and they'll talk to like the person who was in charge of the movie. So in this case, it was Brian Henson, Jim Henson's son, for the Muppet Show, Muppet movie one. And he points him in a certain direction. He's like, a lot of because they would talk about how when people were making movies, 30, 40 years ago, props were just tools. They were used in movies, and then they were like costumes and things like that were taken apart and reused in other movies, and nothing was really like, we should save this for posterity. We should just, they're just tools. We use them. So, this guy goes back and he tries to find Kermit's banjo and all this stuff. And then also there's a section of the show, their episodes are an hour long or 45 minutes long, and every episode has a part where they bring props and bring them back to the person who will use them in the movie. And like for a lot of them, it's the first time they've seen this thing in 30, 40 years. So it was cool. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids one, they had Rick Moranis on, and they showed some of the original props. Rick Moranis, man,
love Rick.
He has aged like a fine wine. And he's also going to be in a new Disney Plus show. I think it's a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be in it.
I think it's because he like left Hollywood. That's probably why he looks so good. He's like,
You know
he
what?
must be so much healthier
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
It's interesting. Like Jen and I actually looked him up the other day. I think when the news came out that they were making a Honey I Shrunk the Kids show, it's called Shrunk.
Yeah.
And like outside of voice acting stuff, he really hasn't been in anything since the mid '90s.
Totally out of the game.
That's
totally out of the
crazy.
game. He
for him.
stopped to like raise his family. That was the story I had read, which is great. I mean, he was so in the 80s. He was like the comedic actor. It's crazy. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, all those movies. So it's cool.
Little Giants.
He was great. He was a huge star. A Little Shop of Horrors. He's a huge star. So
Did they find the humongous blades of grass from Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
no, they didn't. But they did find. They found the ant, the giant ant.
I was gonna ask that.
Dude,
yeah.
it was so cool. So they only really found. I don't want to give it away. You guys should watch it. But they only found like pieces of it,
Okay.
and they brought it back to the kids who were in the movie and showed them the ant piece, like the thing, the auntie. It was crazy. So that was awesome. The Muppet one, they went and found the Studebaker that Fozzie drove that he got from his uncle. Great show. It's exact. I tweeted it out. I was like, this is precisely my shit. Like, I love movie props.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I love the behind the scenes stuff. And this is so cool that they're able. And Disney, like I said, Disney has this gigantic catalog and archives of props and things, but it's still cool for them to just like go in the back and pull them out and be like, yeah, we have this. This is still around. Very, very cool. I highly recommend it. It's on Disney Plus only. But prop culture.
Awesome.
Go check
I
it
like
out.
that.
Sounds cool.
But that's it for me.
A lot cooler than you.
Well, I've been
That was
watching. So
Adam.
last night we watched Creed 2. I loved Creed 1 and just never got around to seeing Creed 2. I thought Creed 2 was awesome. I thought how they did. They had 3. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't. I've seen the first one. I
Yes.
haven't seen the second one.
So there are 3 fights, like 3 boxing matches in the movie, and how they do each of them, like how they the fight itself and how they end each fight, I think works perfect because, like, you know, halfway through the movie he fights Victor Drago. I'm like, oh, I mean, this doesn't spell anything good for Creed, but the way they handled it was really good, and I think the way that they roll in Tessa Thompson as his wife, I think she plays an awesome part on, like, you know, keeping him grounded and focused on, you know, especially after everything he goes through in the movie, you know, towards coming out on top. I also watched this a while ago, but I forgot to mention it. Good Boys. So Jacob Tremblay is in it, and 2 other kids, and it's sort of like the I don't know, would you say middle school style Superbad?
That's exactly how I would describe it. Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was funny. It definitely had its moments. I thought it was really good. I thought it was well done, and you know, I feel like all you know, older guys, like I could definitely find myself relating to those kids. You know, when I was that age too. Maybe not, you know, finding all the sex paraphernalia in my parents' room, but maybe other stuff.
Yeah, that was very funny. I remember that being, when I saw it, I remember that being surprisingly funny. Like, I hadn't expected it to be that good.
Right. We watched. I finished Mr. Robot season 3. It was fucking awesome. So good. I can't recommend it enough. Jen's going to work tomorrow, so I'm going to start season 4 tomorrow. That's the plan.
I'm so jealous. I need to do that.
And I also started. I like American Horror Story too, and I just never got around to watching the newest season. So season 9, it's called 1984, and it takes place in a summer camp in 1984 in California. And I just watched the first episode, and I'm interested to see where it goes because, like, from the original cast, the first handful of seasons, there's no one from the original cast in the main cast now, which is interesting. So I you know, it's the first episode was sort of all over the place, but in general, that show's all over the place. It's just, you know, you got to know what you're getting. So I'm excited to continue.
Is Kathy Bates one of the original people?
So
is she in this new one? Is she in 1984?
No, Kathy Bates is not in the new one. She's like, so what I'm trying to think what season she was in. I think she was definitely in season 3. I can't remember if she was in 1 or not. I don't think so. Or
they
2.
don't connect at all, right? None of the seasons.
No, they do. They do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, very like small pieces they connect.
That's
together.
one of my shows that I have that I want to watch. I have it on my list.
Yeah, you'll pick out moments where you see where they connect. Like, for example, season 2 is Asylum, and there's a character in Asylum that shows up again in Freak Show, but the character went from the Freak Show to the Asylum, like chronologically.
Okay.
And it's like a secondary, tertiary, third tier character. Okay. So it's like you pick up on it because like the prosthetics that the actress has on are like very recognizable. But there's definitely little connections all over the place for it, which is cool.
That's cool. I want to watch that. Very cool.
It's really tough for me to like nail down which season was my favorite, but my like the season I thought was like unexpectedly good was Cult. I can't remember. I think that was season 7, but I thought it was really good because there were no supernatural elements to it. Like most of the seasons have a supernatural element to it, but that one had none. And it's like set around Donald Trump's presidency, and the creator of the show is like famously not a big fan of him, and so it made for like a really good season.
Does HD still watch?
I don't know. I
remember because I remember back in I remember when you guys were watching. Was it Freak Show? One of the seasons. He was big into Freak Show.
Yeah, Freak Show was the first season we watched.
Weird that he would like that one. I read that Kathy Bates and Macaulay Culkin's character are having sex next season. There's like a graphic sex scene. Or Macaulay Culkin's in the next season. I don't know if he's a recurring character.
Yeah, no, he's in the next season, but I don't know. I don't know what he is.
That should be fun.
They keep the plots and everything of this show like really under wraps.
Well, that one leaked, so hopefully it's part of a larger story.
Ryan's got his best guys on it.
It's Dave D.
It's Dave D. Ryan, what are you watching besides Macaulay Culkin and Kathy Bates have sex?
Yeah, I've been really in on that news, but more than that. So I started. Well, we finished actually Saturday and Sunday. Holly and I finished season 2 of Dead to Me on Netflix, which I cannot recommend enough. Christina Applegate, Linda Cardellini, or Cardellini, whatever, Chris Cardellini, James Marsden. Really, really good show. Very like it's a unique plot and it's dark humor, but Christina Applegate is like who I would want to strive to be as like an adult. She just does not give a shit about anything. Like she's just gone through so much grief and hell, and like the way she interacts with just like everyday people. I'm so jealous. I just want to, sometimes you just want to tell someone just like go fuck themselves, and like you're like, all right, I can't do that.
I feel that
like,
nowadays.
This isn't cordial.
More than anything.
But that's like her character. She just does not care. But yeah, finished. It's all 10 episodes, half hour.
What is it on?
Dark comedy. So super Netflix original.
I'll watch that.
Only 2 seasons, but highly recommend. There's a lot of twists and turns, a lot of plot twists. I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Christina Applegate was probably, along with the Pink Ranger, my number 1 childhood crush. Like
from Married with Children.
Married with Children, and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Like she's still like smoking hot.
Oh my god, she's gorgeous.
But back then, like Married with Children was a great show. Probably one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. But she killed me in that. Her and Amy Jo Johnson for sure. 2 childhood crushes.
The Pink Ranger,
man. Pink Ranger.
Now Pink Ranger like fully costumed?
Yes, with a mask on. Yes.
Okay.
Fun fact, and I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but I was watching this behind the scenes Power Rangers show. weird, but it was good. And they were talking about how they like the first show became to be. It was a show in Japan, and in Japan, they just always wore the suits and they just fought monsters. There was no like they went to high school. There was no nothing. And someone from America was like, hey, let's take that show and we'll cut in scenes of all these young American actors like playing their like not suited counterparts, and then we'll just splice it together. So whenever you watch Power Rangers, whenever we were watching Power Rangers with the Pink Ranger, when she was in the mask, it wasn't her. I mean, a lot of times it was a stunt double, yes, but it wasn't even filmed at the same time. It was like filmed years earlier in Japan and like used there. I thought it was weird. Anyway,
that's very funny. Very American thing to do.
American thing. And you know the reason why they did it?
Like
you
turn
know,
it into like a...
The reason why they did it is because to sell toys. They were like, we're going to make toys from this. Bandai was like, we'll make toys and we're going to make a show for it. To sell the toys. Not make a show and then sell toys. It's like, we want to sell toys, so we'll make a show to sell the toys.
So we need a show. That's very funny.
Genius.
It is genius. I had fucking hella Megazords.
Oh, I had so many toys. I got
them upstairs in my attic. I love my Power Ranger toys.
Yeah, I only wrestlers. That's the only thing I collected.
You got a lot of wrestlers.
I have thousands. I have thousands of wrestlers. I just can't sell them.
You should bring them to your house and set them up on like shelves all around your house. You think Holly would like that?
I don't. I don't think she would enjoy that at all. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So.
You should designate your own room and just wall to wall.
Ryan's wrestling room.
A wrestling room. Ryan's
just has holes in the walls.
Oscar mask. That's a good idea. So I also this coming Sunday is the final 2 parts of The Last Dance, which is the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls documentary ESPN did, which is unreal. It's really cool. I mean, they ESPN is like up there with like HBO, and I mean I think WWE does a great job with documentaries too. But this one's cool because like as famous as Jordan is, you don't really know a lot about him like behind the scenes. Like you hear rumors about he was a tough teammate or like gambling or he was super competitive, but you never really hear him talk about it. He's not like a talking head a lot as far as interviews go. So it's been pretty fascinating, and the way they set it up is really cool. So they shift between the final season in 1998 and so the first episode would be about the 1998 year starting, and then they would go back to his childhood up until when he was drafted. And then episode 2 would go a little bit further along in 98, and then it would go into like his first couple of years in the league. And so on and so forth. So they're like chronicling that final year while also splicing in everything he's gone through, which it's still insane to think that he retired like in his prime. Yeah. Just retired after 3 straight championships. Like I can't imagine like a player of any sport doing that now.
Crazy.
It's just like mind-boggling. And then he took a year off, came back and won 3 more championships. Yeah. Like that's just it's insane. But if you're a sports fan or even just like documentaries, I would highly recommend The Last Dance. It's finishing up Sunday. And then I started The Looming Tower on Amazon Prime, which is a series about like pre/post 9/11. So it's kind of like chronicles like the infighting between the CIA and the FBI about how they were trying to take down bin Laden like during the Clinton presidency, and how like they never pulled the trigger because like they were just fighting each other instead of trying to like take down Al-Qaeda. And then it also goes into like the post 9/11, how they handled everything with the war in Iraq and all that stuff. Pretty interesting. The first episode is basically just like a Jeff Daniels sexathon. He's just like, he's having sex with like his 2 girlfriends, his wife and kid. Not his kid, his wife. But it's like weird. He's just in like, it's all these different scenes of like him coming into a room with like flowers, and then it's a different woman. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? He plays one of the FBI agents, but there's less sex with Jeff Daniels as it goes on.
Okay.
But pretty interesting stuff. So if you have to be a history guy kind of to watch it, but I would recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm watching.
All right. News. Space Force. Netflix with Steve Carell. When does this come out?
So, I don't know when it comes out, but I saw this. I saw the trailer, and I saw everybody getting their dicks hard, thinking it's like, oh, it's going to be the next Office. Like, first of all, it's not. And secondly, like, this poor bastard, Steve Carell, cannot escape The Office. Everything he does now is compared to The Office. Like, I've seen him in other stuff, and he's such a good actor. Like,
well,
comedic
it's the same
and
creator.
serious.
I mean, I'm sure he's welcoming the comparisons. Like, it's the guy who created The Office is doing the show. People are obviously going to compare it to The Office.
I guess.
May
But
29th.
Watch Steve Carell in the morning show. He's a very different character than Michael Scott, and he's very good.
Or
He's very
Foxcatcher.
or Foxcatcher. He's fucking.
Oh, I saw Foxcatcher. I
Foxcatcher.
saw that on a plane, I think.
He's demented.
Yeah, I mean the thing is when you see a lot of that, like when you see a lot of that marketing speak where they use like from the creator of The Office,
Right.
they're doing that because The Office was so popular and they know it resonates with. So I see fucking 1,000 Office like clips on Instagram a day. Just because the show was so popular, and I love The Office. Like, it's so fun. It was awesome. I know you don't like it, Adam. So I think you're bringing. Oh, you do like it now? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't like it in college because Ryan loved it so much.
Well, like so, what I was saying. So the marketing speak. People they say that to stir up the people that are like going to be like, oh, The Office. This show is going to be like The Office, sure. And I'm sure like. They don't want the narrative to be like this is going to be like The Office, but they don't mind if people are going to think that. If they associate The Office with quality and funny shit, they want to associate it with the new show. So I think that's the only reason why people would be doing that. And people are going to fucking argue about that shit anyway. They're going to be like, it's not The Office. It is The Office. It's not as funny as The Office. Why do we need to compare it in the first place? It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited for it because it's Steve Carell. It's a comedy. And Netflix, honestly, because Netflix is doing it, and I think they're gonna nail it. I think that the
really good trailer.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. It looks funny from the trailer.
So and a very funny concept that it came from this real thing that the president said he's going to start, the Space Force. So I think that's funny.
Next up in movie news, I know this is more for me and Matt than Ryan because I know he doesn't care because he doesn't have.
He'll come
soul.
around.
But
I like Avatar.
Well, Avatar and Lord of the Rings are going to resume filming in New Zealand because New Zealand is lifting their lockdown,
Right.
which is awesome. So I'm psyched about Avatar, and it's funny you mentioned like how much watching movies on a plane sucks because I never saw Avatar in theaters, which is like one of the top 5 biggest regrets of my life.
You're an idiot.
The first time I watched Avatar was on a plane to China.
Why?
16-hour flight. I needed to kill some time.
That's a big
so
chunk.
I ate up 3 hours.
Of all movies to like not experience
I'm
it.
pretty
I know.
sure if you asked
On a plane.
James Cameron to list the ways in order of importance of how he would want people to watch Avatar, I think that on a plane would be lower than someone installing a screen into a piece of shit, human shit, in a toilet. Because at least like there's maybe some art form to that. I think that might be. I think on a plane might be lower. It might be lower than that.
Not on a sweaty plane to China.
That sounds horrible.
Oh, here comes a good part. Oh, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, all right, let me unplug my headphones. I'm gonna take
Final
another
diarrhea.
shit.
Excuse me, sir.
Well,
Excuse me.
pretty soon everybody like how everybody like takes headphones on planes. Pretty soon everybody's gonna have their own like viewing like VR thing, and everybody's just gonna have a thing, and it's gonna look like a fucking 100-foot screen in front of you, and you're gonna have like these dope ass headphones.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the future of it. So,
Are you gonna watch the new Avatar?
yeah. Oh yeah.
of course.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
You're out. I respect.
done. It's been too
Ryan,
long.
I respect that. I totally respect that. I'm gonna
done.
tell you something. 2012 Avatar, right? 2012 Avatar, 2009. When did it come out? 2009.
It's further from like Avatar 1 to now is further than Titanic to Avatar 1.
Okay, yeah. So 2009
really-
makes
It's
sense.
yeah.
So so Avatar 2009. It was a phenomenon, no doubt. I fucking loved it. I went to see it like 2 or 3 times at least in IMAX. But I agree with you. I think right now like they should have like struck while the iron was hot. I think it's still going to break records, and I'm definitely going to go see it. But I respect that you're out on it. I respect that.
I'm out. I'm done. I don't think it's going to affect like the mass public going to see it.
Okay.
But I just don't.
But what about the Lord of the Rings show?
You can strike
I've never
while
seen
iron is
any.
hot.
I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings, so
Well, you're in luck because this is...
Oh, how many? I only got to watch 15 of them?
No, you don't have to watch any to watch this.
What's the backstory on this one? On the show?
I don't know. It's like I was gonna ask you that actually. The plot is so under wraps, like, and all the actors are people you've never heard of before, and the rumor was that it was going to be about a young Aragon.
I think you're right. I forget.
Aragorn.
I read about it eventually.
That's
my
why
memory's terrible. I read about it before.
Is that a dragon?
But, no, it is a man. Who
I'm not laughing at you. I'm
becomes
laughing with you.
The king of men and saves, is integral in saving Middle Earth in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But he's lives a pretty. You don't know anything about his backstory, like him growing up, basically.
Ryan, I'll tell you this.
So he could have been a dragon.
Yeah.
Could have been.
All you have to do is watch the 3 Hobbit movies. That's it. That's all you need.
Right.
I might eventually dive in. I'm not against it. I just,
It's come too far.
I mean,
there's other things that pop up.
the original, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King is a masterpiece. It's amazing. So good. And for when it was made, and the third one won how many Oscars, including Best Picture? It's
I think like 11.
It still
or 12.
blows my mind. It's fucking amazing for that kind of movie to get that high of praise. It is. It's perfect. It's so good, and the characters and the actors.
They all came out back to back to back too. 2001, 2002, 2003.
Peter Jackson liked that filming schedule. He did the same thing with The Hobbit.
I respect that.
He just fucking knock it out, man. I like that. And it makes them all feel. I mean, not that like Marvel does a terrific job with theirs, making them all feel like one cohesive thing. But they really do feel like one picks right off where the next, where it left off, and feels the same, looks the same, all that. Technology doesn't change.
So it won 11 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Writing, Best Editing, Art Direction, Costume Design, Makeup, Original Score, Original Song, Sound Mixing, and Visual Effects.
I would die to go visit Weta Workshop in New Zealand.
That's awesome. That would be amazing.
Go there so bad. I'd die to go there. Cool. Very cool. Number 3 on our news here. It's breaking news as of today. Lin-Manuel Miranda put out this, and this is fucking amazing. So the Hamilton original cast in Lin-Manuel Miranda, they filmed a movie version of Hamilton, the stage play. And they filmed it. I'm pretty sure it was an empty theater. They just filmed it. I think they filmed it on stage, but they blocked it and filmed it like a movie. So it feels more movie-ish rather than just like one camera on a giant stage. It feels more intimate is what he described it as. And originally, he wanted to wait for it to be when Hamilton was done touring, doing their like first few tours around the country, he wanted to release it in theaters. And originally that date was like 2023. Then a few months ago, they said it's going to be October 2021 is when the movie would come out in theaters. And now it's moved all the way up to July 3rd this year on Disney Plus. The Hamilton movie is coming. And I have a 99% erection right now. I'm saving that 1% for Jesus. So...
Jesus is watching. I can't. It might be recency bias, but it's my favorite play, like that I've seen.
It's incredible.
And I'm sure if I go back, there might be like one that maybe I had more fun at. But I mean, the music is just unreal. I can't imagine seeing it with like the original cast.
That is what I am so excited for, is seeing it with the original cast, with Leslie Odom Jr., with Lin-Manuel Miranda, with David Deegs, with Christopher, the guy who plays George Washington, he's fantastic.
Walking.
It's Hook. He's actually in his Hook costume, and that was the original on Broadway.
He's dancing.
I'm so excited for that, and for it to be coming out July 3rd. We're halfway through May. It might as well
time.
It might as well be Christmas at this point. Doesn't matter.
It's already May 19th, so
right. That's right. It's already May. For Ryan, Ryan's a week ahead of us. No one knows, but Ryan's actually a week ahead of us. So that's fucking Adam, you haven't seen any of it. Have you listened to the soundtrack? Okay, listen. Go at this point. Go in fresh. Don't.
I'm just gonna wait.
go in fresh and fucking and just let your eyes bleed from your head as you watch the majesty that is Hamilton. It's so fucking good. Can't be understated.
So the
Can't be overstated.
the guy who played James Madison in the original.
Yep.
I don't know. So he's in a show called Station 19 on ABC. It's like a firefighter show, and he's enormous. He's this huge guy, but I didn't really he's a very good actor for like Station 19 is kind of like it's Grey's Anatomy for firefighters, so it doesn't take wonderful acting chops to be on the show. But I'm like, oh, this guy's a really good actor, and then he popped up in when they on Some Good News, the John Krasinski YouTube series, when they had the whole Hamilton cast like sing to that girl. He popped up. I'm like, wait a minute. So he's like to be able to be in the original cast of Hamilton and then to transition to like that type of acting role. Pretty impressive. I mean, same with Lin-Manuel and Leslie Odom too, I guess. But
he also plays. So he plays James Madison, and he also plays some of the actors.
Hercules, right?
Hercules Mulligan.
Something.
A lot of the actors play, or some of the actors play two different like main roles. Him, David Deegs, and the other kid who's in A Star Is Born. They play two, but he's fantastic. And the soundtrack, I don't know what he looks like when he acts it out, but the soundtrack, he's so good. That guy's really good.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. But it's very that's fucking that's tremendous news. So,
especially so soon, I can't wait.
It really is. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait.
And thanks to our chit chat last week on the podcast, Dave has been renewed for season 2 at FX. Yeah. And I didn't know this. It's the highest rated or highest ranked comedy in FX history.
Which I think is high praise, right? Because FX is known for their comedy. Right.
Yeah, way more. Like on a average per episode, it's the highest
That
rated.
is awesome.
Which is really cool. Yeah. I mean, it definitely, I know we were texting about it, but it hit it got viral pretty quick. And then I think it just caught on, and then I think it helped having Hulu too. To be an additional resource for people to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
But very excited for that. So that hopefully is coming next year, I guess, depending on when they can.
Right. That's the thing. It's like all shows that get renewed and all movies that get announced that they're making them. Like, what does that even mean until you can actually I'm sure they'll start pre-production, but when is it going to come?
Exactly.
So. And I added one more. That's huge. I added one more piece of news. It's not exactly TV or movie news, but this might interest the two of you because I know you guys aren't into really current video games, like things that are going on now. But Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the OG, is being the first and second one is being remade and launched on Xbox, PS4, all the new PC, all the new shit. They announced that at Summer Game Fest today. It's coming out September 4th, 2020. It's going to be a 4K remaster. It looks brand new. It's all remade, which is pretty awesome. Cool. And they were showing clips of it, and the soundtrack is back, and that's one of the best things about the game is the soundtrack. So I just wanted to bring that up. It's pretty cool. Do you guys did both of you ever play Tony Hawk Pro Skater? Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that's one of those games that it doesn't that doesn't miss people of our generation that doesn't miss them. That's one of those games.
Right. I was a big Dave Mirra BMX guy.
Great game. I'm waiting for them to do that now next because if Tony Hawk Pro Skater had a good soundtrack, then I don't know what Dave Mirra BMX had. That was a tremendous soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
It turned me on to Sublime, which now I have a Sublime tattoo on my arm. That's how powerful that was. Cool. So yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. All right. So last week we had the assignment of watching Annihilation and Honey Boy. Some of us have already seen Annihilation. That was me and Adam. Ryan hadn't seen Annihilation. And the other movie was Honey Boy. I hadn't seen Honey Boy. Ryan has seen Honey Boy. Adam, did you see Honey Boy? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was the only one. But we'll talk about those. Let's start with Annihilation, though, because I really want to see what Ryan thought. I really want to know what Ryan thought about Annihilation.
I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was...
Really?
Yeah, I was expecting to go in and not like it, because I was expecting it to be more sci-fi in an alien type of way. There's going to be this monster, and like they gotta fight like this extraterrestrial or aliens are trying to take over the Earth or something like that, and it was just much more subtle than that. So just watching it without reading like any reviews or any explanations on it, like I saw it more as like just someone trying to like overcome her own self-destruction. Like obviously she like fucked up her marriage with Oscar Isaac, and it just felt like she was going through all this to like save her marriage, but in another way, like I felt like she was letting herself go, and she had to go into like the Area X to like save everything, like almost save her own life. And then there was like a little back and forth with the doctor. I forgot her name, but she saw it like as a, she's like, why do these men keep going on a suicide mission? And there's a difference between suicide and self-destruction. And I think she kind of realized that that's what she was doing to her own life, was just kind of destroying it. But then I read a really, really interesting theory that it basically, the movie was showing you like what would happen, like what someone who has cancer is going through. So it's as if the Earth got cancer, and that's what that Area X was. And it was just like slowly moving its way like up the coastline, started at the lighthouse, and it just like kind of came out of nowhere, which is how cancer happens. Like it doesn't like pick and choose, it just happens. But there was a lot of examples, and I wrote some of them down. So like the phosphorus grenade that Kane used, and then Natalie Portman's character uses, so they compared that to like chemotherapy. So like that's like what it's like when you're getting shot, with radiation and chemotherapy. Like if you're a cancer patient, that's like sometimes your best hope of getting rid of it, but it's just like it can burn you up and like almost destroy you. And like the unexplained prism, how like the prism kept advancing, is just how cancer can advance on the body. And then how everything was mutating, like that's how a cancer cell will do it. It'll just keep mutating and taking different forms. And then how all the characters that passed away, they all passed away kind of differently. So Tessa Thompson's character passed away more peacefully. She like turned into that flower. But then you had the doctor who actually had cancer. She like was annihilated. It just like destroyed her from the inside out. And then the final scene, when you have like the prism in Natalie Portman's eye, it just like, even though you're cancer free, quote unquote, it's always a part of you.
Right.
It's always kind of inside of you. And there's one scene where Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac are sitting on the couch, and it's like silence, and they just like say, hi or whatever to each other. And the book she's reading is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, which is a nonfiction book about a woman, Henrietta Lacks, who died of cervical cancer in the 50s. But when they studied her cervical cancer cells, they found like one of her cells was like immortal. Like it wouldn't get infected. And it would just like live on forever. And they actually were using that to like treat cancer patients ever since.
That's interesting.
That's cool. I hadn't heard that.
I thought it was great. I mean, it was one kind of like The Lighthouse. I mean, it just was like, I don't think there's any obviously wrong theories of it. Like I never would have gotten to the cancer theory on my own, but it definitely made you think.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. I was very happy that it didn't just go full, extraterrestrial science fiction.
Right. It was more than just a monster invasion movie. You know what I mean? It was much more than that.
At the end, when Natalie Portman makes it to the lighthouse and she goes inside, and of course you have that like showdown with the I guess you call it a mimic, like a the thing that's like mimicking what she's doing. It perfectly represents how she is her own force against herself. You know what I mean? Like she is, like you were saying, Ryan, she like is destroying her own life, like it's her own doing, and that was like such a perfect representation of that, and like that it all comes to a head, and so I want to get back to, we were talking last week how you don't like the sounds and noises in Mr. Robot. How does it compare with the sound effects at the end of that movie? Because I didn't remember it being like when I rewatched it and I heard it again, the first time I saw it was in a theater, and I remember it not being like invasive, but I remember it being like it left like an imprint on me. The way it sounded and the way all the like the noises were happening, and it gave me like a very like eerie, like not creepy, but like when I left the theater, I felt like it was still with me. Thought it was strange.
Yeah, it was intense because I have the sound bar and surround sound in my living room, so it was intense, and just like that, like like that. I don't know. I think I was very into the movie, so it didn't bother me as much as like a Mr. Robot, where it just seems like they're trying to shoot your brain out of your skull.
Tense music.
But going back to like the scene where her and the mimic are going at, and then the doctor, he says, "Yeah, but it attacked you, or like it hit you," and she goes, "No, like I attacked it, like it was just mimicking me."
Right.
So from the outside, you could see it as like, it knocked her to the ground and hit her in the head, but it's like, no, you're doing that to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Thought that was very cool and a very cool way to do it. Like that whole like end set piece was awesome. Like inside the lighthouse, the ground zero, so to speak, and all that. She finally like got to it. She dug deep down and found this.
What I liked a lot about that movie was just like the effects that they came up with that the prism created. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like what was it? The bear that had it was all like
the human
scream, and the alligator with like albino alligator with like crazy looking teeth. I thought all that stuff was really cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I did too. In the cancer theory, they were saying that like they didn't want to make all the like creations or all the mutations like bad. So that's why like there was one part Natalie Portman saw like the really pretty like deer or elk or whatever. Yeah. And they floated away, but then you had on the opposite of spectrum the bear that when it opened his mouth was a human scream. That was
terrifying.
Pretty terrifying. But then you had like the flower thing. So and it was just kind of like to show how each person or each like part of that journey or someone's experience with it, it's not always all like the worst end of the spectrum. And the reason that Natalie Portman survived is because you can survive. Like it's not 100% lethal, but I mean it does obviously kill a lot of people. Yeah. So I just thought that was really interesting. And they had a lot of good examples. The guy who wrote the article on it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very thought provoking, and it was. I'm just glad it wasn't like a full like science fiction-y type. Like, oh, we gotta. If we get to the belly of the beast, we can blow them up. It's like, all right.
I'm gonna immediately.
Which they kind of did, but in a different.
I'm gonna immediately. Did you see Ex Machina? Okay, yeah. So if you like that, watch that. It has very similar like. It's not surface level, sci-fi movie making. It's very deep, and you can interpret it a bunch of different ways. And Oscar Isaac is in it again because Alex Garland loves Oscar Isaac, and
he was very underutilized.
What is? I mean, in Annihilation he definitely was, but he's not in Ex Machina. He's very utilized. Who's the other character, Adam, in Ex Machina?
He's in Star that show Wars. You watch, Ryan, Run. Domhnall Gleeson.
I've never seen him in anything else.
It's him and Oscar Isaac star in it, and Alicia Vikander.
So also, Annihilation
Tomb Raider, right?
is like it's also the first in a 3-part series of books. I read the first one's Annihilation. I forget what the other two are called. I read Annihilation like ahead of the movie, and similar but different. Like the characters don't even have names in the book. It's just the biologist, the doctor. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But the book is very different, but also very good. Maybe someday I'll get to the other two. But if I would suggest, at least go on the Wikipedia to look at the differences. But I found both of them very entertaining.
Good call. I'm glad I watched that.
Cool. I'm glad you liked it. I'm really glad, and I'm glad I rewatched it too. I really haven't seen it in a long time, in a while. So I'm glad I was able to rewatch it for this. That's what this can do.
And because I'm not an idiot, I started to watch it on the airplane and then stopped, which is something human beings can do. You don't have to watch the movie on an airplane.
You have to finish. They hold your eyelids. It's like a Clockwork Orange. They just prop your eyes open and you just stare into the screen. Is that terrifying?
That's I don't know what I'm gonna. I probably won't be able to.
All right,
Matt, what'd you think of Honey Boy?
All right, oh my God, I fucking love the Honey Boy. I'm gonna bring up some. I have some notes for it. Oh wait, Annihilation. Let's do thumbs. Let's do our thumbs for Annihilation. So, we'll go 1, 2, 3, reveal. I can't see your thumb, Ryan.
Oh,
put it more to the left. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thumb up.
I would give it like 90.
Yeah, it's in the 90s for sure. I would say it's pointing. Yeah. It's pointing almost.
For
up.
me, it's the straight up is Interstellar. You know what I mean? You got to get to that level to be 100 for me.
Right. Interstellar.
The Dark Knight.
Arrival's up there. The Dark Knight, yeah. Okay, let me. I gotta bring up my notes for Honey Boy. Ryan, do you want to start on Honey Boy while I get this?
Yeah. So it's funny that we picked both these movies because Honey Boy was like to me too kind of a movie about like self-destruction on like multiple levels with like a father and a son, and how like a father's self-destruction led to the son's self-destruction.
Yeah.
I just loved how it was filmed. I mean, all the acting was out of the park. I
liked how they jumped back and forth between him in rehab and then him as a child, and then as him as a child it split off. Like he would have his own solo stuff, the kid, and the dad would have his own solo stuff. And how it all like comes together. I thought that was really good, and I thought Shia LaBeouf's performance was awesome.
Shia LaBeouf was tremendous. Definitely, Lucas Hedges is always good. I really like Lucas Hedges as an actor. And the young kid, I don't know his name, but he was tremendous with playing with Shia LaBeouf.
So good.
He was, so good. They really, it was really, really something watching them together. Like the chemistry they had as father and son was amazing.
He'll be Spider-Man someday. That kid.
You are absolutely right. You are probably right.
Noah Jupe.
What's his name?
Noah Jupe. Jupe.
Okay. Very good. Very, very good. He looks familiar, but I don't think I recognize him from anything else. Maybe I just recognize him from this.
He's the kid in the Quiet Place. The son.
Yep. Cool. Very, very cool. He's very, very good. I thought there was a lot of really funny scenes, like funny and also troubling. Like the dad letting him have he's kind of bartering with him for a pack of smokes, and letting the kid smoke. He's like, but make sure you smoke it in the bathroom. I don't want people to think I'm a shit father. And he's like, you're not a shit father. Just trying to say whatever he can say so his dad will give him this pack of cigarettes. And hey Dad, how about you stop making fun of my dick for a second so we can fucking get out of this motel? Why don't you cool it for a second? He just couldn't handle I think there's a lot of it he just couldn't handle being a father because I think he was still dealing with issues with himself and his father. I think it's just a pattern of just a carousel, just the same shit happening generation to generation. And I think that it's being passed down. So I don't think that he could really handle. You could see when he would go to his I guess they were AA meetings.
Yeah.
AA or NA, yeah.
Yeah, so he would go to those meetings and you could tell he was having issues himself, so how could he possibly be a dad? And then you have the thing where where Otis is the kid's name,
yes.
Right? Otis is paying his father he's really the boss, but he's not, and that power struggle right there. And they live in this tiny little motel room. Can't escape each other. I just thought it was really, really good and really, really well done. I didn't think it was I didn't think it was too. I thought it was going to be I don't know much about Shia LaBeouf, I I I just I didn't. It wasn't too self-serving. It wasn't too like introspective. It wasn't too like, oh, the reason why I'm such a lunatic is because of my father. Like it kind of like it was more than that. It kind of showed like the humanity of it all, where his father, sure, he was like probably not the best dad or is not the best dad, but he was, there was some areas where he tried, and he just like, you kind of like, you felt sympathy for him because he was kind of fucked up with his own shit.
And even though he might not have been the best dad, like, it was abundantly clear that he just loved his son.
Right, correct. And he wanted to do, he truly thought that, and I think probably in a lot of ways he gave him a lot of tips with like acting and stuff like that and whatever, but he just wanted to do good by his son, and I think he realized that he couldn't do 100%, and that's what led him to like that whole, like, he has that whole inferiority complex when it comes to the Big Brother guy, Tom. That was such a good scene. That was so good. I was like, I know this is gonna go terrible. He says this like just swear laden like 3-sentence thing at him before he throws him in the pool, which was fucking incredible. I couldn't get all of it down, but it starts off with, I'm gonna wind up skull fucking your sister, and then I lost it from there. He just like goes in on this guy and then throws him in the pool.
And he doesn't yell. Like, he doesn't yell at
No.
you. He says it at like a normal tone.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scarier. Like, if someone's yelling at you, you're scared, but if someone's talking to you like I'm talking to you, but they're saying like really terrible things, that to me is like a little scarier. And it was definitely like the jealousy.
Yes.
Like he was a show business clown or some type of clown, and he never made it. But now his son's like getting TV roles and doing all this stuff. But like you said, it never felt like he was, I never felt like I was watching like Shia LaBeouf make an excuse for like why he has made mistakes in his life. It just felt like he's like, this is, I'm going to be as honest. I'm going to open up everything as much as I can. And there's a scene in one of the NA meetings where Shia LaBeouf, playing his dad, is saying like, I love my son, but I'm just so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is someone going through his own stuff while also trying to raise a kid, while also going through an inferiority complex, while also being jealous. It's just like almost too much for one person to handle.
Yeah. When I did I have like the Letterboxd movie app, and you just it's kind of like a thing to keep track of movies you've watched. If you like them, you can rate them or whatever. And sometimes, if you want, you can leave a little review. And I put beautiful and honest was my 2 words that I used to review it. I didn't go into it. I thought it was very well. Like, I thought the whole story was beautiful in itself, but I also just thought it was. I think he just like put his cards out on the table and told this story that is super fascinating and not the normal upbringing of a lot of people. And I think that was. I thought that was cool. And I think he did a tremendous job with it. It wasn't directed by Shia LaBeouf, which I didn't know.
He just wrote it.
So he wrote it and he acted in it. I thought that was very interesting. Clearly very, very well written, and also well directed. I think he found the perfect person to direct it. I forget who.
Yeah,
I forget it's a she. I forget her name, but crushed it. It was awesome.
Awesome. Glad you liked it. I liked it a lot too. So do you want to do our meters?
Yes, let's do our meters for Honey Boy. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Meter it. We're going up. I'm putting it squarely in the early 80s.
See, I'm a little higher.
We're on 75.
I'm like high 80s.
75. That's all right. I very much enjoyed it. I want to watch more stuff that he writes, and also accent. Honestly.
Yeah, he's not in enough stuff.
So
yeah.
No, definitely not. Go back a little bit. At the beginning, when they're showing the two scenes where he's strapped into a stunt suit and they pull him away, I'm assuming the one where it's Lucas Hedges, that's Transformers. Right? I was trying to do like the math of it and like Transformers, and then what about when he's a kid? Like, what did he do before Even Stevens?
I was going to say Even Stevens.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. Because I don't know. I was looking at his IMDb and he wasn't in much around there, but like Even Stevens was huge for him.
Probably didn't. It was probably like a loose version of Even Stevens. Yeah. So like it was a family comedy, but they might have made it a little more serious for the movie.
Yeah, right. That's how they changed the names and everything.
Yeah,
very, very cool. Definitely want to see more stuff out of Shia LaBeouf.
Did either of you guys get a chance to watch
you got it?
Stuber?
I didn't get a chance to watch Stewart, but just for lack
Yeah,
of
yeah.
time, I will try. I'm going to try and watch it for the next
All right.
podcast.
Yeah, all right.
So, I know you're trying to get us on. I believe you
fun.
that it's funny.
But up next, we talked about this before. It's on Hulu. It's called Booksmart. It's a comedy about two academic superstars in high school, and they're also best friends. They're on a mission to cram 4 years of having fun into one night. It's directed by Olivia Wilde. I don't know if it's her directorial debut, but I remember seeing reviews when this trailer came out, and everybody was ranting and raving about how good it was. So I'm excited to see it.
I am also excited
Awesome.
to watch
Me
it.
too.
That was one of the ones that kind of slipped through the cracks when it was coming out. I'm looking to see what else she directed. I want to see if this was her directorial debut. I don't know.
Her too. She's not in enough stuff. She's not in a ton of things. Whatever she's in is good.
She had a
Oh, recently?
baby. Recently.
I mean, that makes sense because
She's married to
last
because
couple of
she's
years,
married
so.
to Jason Sudeikis, and he hasn't been in much later. For a hot sec there, he was in it, come out and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Booksmart was her debut. She did a couple music videos and just a short film in 2011.
It's very cool. I love to see new people directing stuff. I love to see new styles and all that, or people that
too.
haven't directed before. Or even I like the actor turned director thing because I think that's very interesting to have that perspective from being an actor and then switching it over and then directing actors. I think that's interesting, and I think you have a very unique vision and a unique voice when you do that. So that's very cool. All right, that's gonna do it. You guys have anything else you want to add for next week? So we're watching Booksmart. We're watching Stuber because I will watch that this week. I promise. You guys should check out.
I'm gonna watch Stuber too.
You guys should check out Prop Culture. It's a great show. If you guys don't have Disney Plus, I'll give you my login. It's
I've got it. I'll
awesome.
check it out.
I really enjoy it. So I think that'll do it for today. The Average Nobodies podcast. Check us out, AverageNobodies.com, YouTube.com/TheAverageNobodies. This podcast also has video. You can see our faces. It's on YouTube. Subscribe to us, like it, watch it. Adam's gonna kiss the screen right now. It's a kiss. It's a kiss just for you. Just for you. Yeah, you. Not you. No. You, the person listening and watching right now. That's for you. Yeah, we're on Apple Podcast.
Get a good life.
We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. That's fancy. That's gonna do it. I'll talk to you guys. Talk to you guys next
See
week.
ya.